Oh my gosh. Well, that is a launch and a half. Hold on to your butts. Hello guys, and welcome back to another video. Today we're taking a look at Kerbal Space Program, a game which you build big giant rockets, you send them into space, and then they crash and explode and kill all your Kerbals. Well, that's one way to play it, but I'm gonna probably just play it the sensible way and try and play through career mode. I'm gonna try and do it on hard mode. It's very awesome game. Very in-depth, so this might be a bit complicated for some people because there's a lot to take in. And oh, look at the wee moon flying past. That's awesome. So the way I'm going to play this, I'm going to try and do every episode where I progress a little bit further into space each time. If I haven't mentioned before, yes, we're going to play this on hard mode because I want a challenge. Let's do that, and let's call this Infinite. Oh. Okay, well it's going to be in caps because that's just how awesome this playthrough is going to be. So, career mode. You have to manage all aspects of your space program. Alright, let's begin. So yeah, I'm not really sure how to approach this and do like a let's play exactly, but I will try and play through it and yeah, like I said, introduce things one step at a time because very complicated game. This is your main sort of hub. It's where you can do everything in your space program. You can launch your rockets over on the launch pad. You can create them here. Right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this tiny little building. It's quite easy to miss, but mission control is how you get all your missions. This is pretty much your main way of earning money. So, welcome to mission control. Please make a selection. Alright, thanks Gene Kerman. So, when you start the game, you always start with 4 contracts. These will be, or gather scientific data from Kerman, which is super easy. You don't even have to launch. You can just do that on the surface. And, well, I was just talking about launching, but launch our first vessel, we can do that. That's very easy. Escaping the atmosphere, now I can see on the side it says there's like 1 star, 1 star, 2 star and 3 star, so I think what that's showing is how difficult each one's going to be. So yes, like stuff like escaping the atmosphere, I don't think we can quite do that yet. Not that it's necessarily that difficult. Orbiting Kerbal might be a little bit difficult though, but I think we could probably do that at some point, maybe even in this video. But even if I wanted to go into space right now, we don't have the technology to do that, so we can only have up to 2 contracts as well. So I'm going to pick gather scientific data from Kerbal, and it says recover or transmit any science experiment data from Kerbal to achieve this goal. Yes, accept. Launch our first vessel, we can do that too. The launch pad or the runway. Oh yes, there's different areas of the map. You can launch your aircraft, or you can even launch your rockets on the runway, funnily enough. So now we've got our 2 missions we want to do. Let's go and build a rocket. So go on this big, giant, awesome building in the middle. Welcome to the vehicle assembly building. Werner von Kerman. Okay. And he's just basically giving us a quick rundown. You can pause and read that if you want. I'm not really fussed on reading that right now. If you come over here, you have all your parts. We don't have a lot of parts, which is actually good for this video. It means, like, you know, it's not going to be too complicated. So these pods right here, this is what your crew's going to sit in. And, well, obviously you can't have a rocket without crew, can you? So the only thing we have is this little command pod. It can have 1 Kerbal seated in it, so 1 Kerbal's going to fly up, but well, we need an actual rocket on the bottom to do that. So let's click on this little flea. There's a cute little rocket. So yeah, that's all good and well. We have our little rocket. That's pretty much all you need. Although, when we shoot it up into the air, it's probably going to come back down and crash into a million bits, and it's not going to be pretty, you know. It will be in the newspaper, worst rocket disaster ever in the reports. So we don't want that. So what I'm going to try and do is it in utility? Yes, there we go. We have a parachute. We want to get a parachute. Otherwise our Kerbal's not going to survive. So that's good enough for our first rocket. It's not going to go to space. Okay, science. Well, we can afford to add this on. This is a little science experiment we can do, and I'll show you how to do them if you're not familiar. Yeah, here's our little rocket. It's got two little funny little things on the side. They do look kind of weird like that, but this is going to work. Should be safe. Let's call it the hopper, because that... Oh, I need to turn off caps locks. The hopper, that's what they call it in the tutorial, and I'm going to stick with it because I like that. Basic rocket designed for a short flights. Oh my gosh, it's really hard to type while I'm spouting out mumbo jumbo. Basic rocket designed for short flights at Kerbal. That's all I'm going to put. Short, straight to the point. Okay. Yeah, I think we're good to launch. I'll explain more about more of the in-depth stuff later on. As I said, I want to slowly introduce things one at a time, so that way anyone who doesn't know how to play isn't too like freaked out by the complexity of this game. Yeah, use the arrow keys to rotate the camera. So now we're sitting on the launch pad. So how do we launch our rocket? Well, space. Oh my gosh. Well, that is a launch and a half. Hold on to your butts. Jebediah doesn't mind. He is just stone-faced. But there we go. We've successfully launched our first rocket. That wasn't that hard, was it? We're still climbing very, very high. As you can see, start to see how round this world is. It's not a very big planet, actually. What's that over there? So yeah, lifted off of Kerbal. It's basically a smaller version of Earth. So yeah, oh, while we're in the air, we might as well do some science experiments while we're at it. So if you right click on anything like your Wii science experiments, the mystery goos, you can click on observe mystery goo. When that little thing pops up, the goo jiggles and wobbles as the craft flies, and I think we've just gone upside down. That's not good. We'll worry about that in a sec. I'm sure Jebediah's fine. He's smiling. So we want to keep that. That's good data, and it gives us some science down here. If you transfer transmit items or science, usually it doesn't give you as much. Anyway, let's keep that. You can also do a crew report. Flying over. Okay, I need to click keep. We better press space to deploy the parachute, because I might forget about it. And poor Jebediah, who is pretty much the main Kerbal here. Like, he's the most well-known Kerbal. We do not want to kill him. And I think on hard mode I can't revert flights either, so if Jeb goes, he's gone for good. But thank goodness the parachute opened in time. It flipped us around. Jeb, you're going to be fine. You're going to land safely. A weird kind of spot. Why are you spinning? We can also do science on the surface, which I'm going to do. And you landed, well, very, very fluffily, if that even is a word. So let's use the other one, because these mystery goo canisters, we can't reset them. Once we use them, we can't use them again. So, cool away. Alright, actually, let me bring that up again. As you see, doesn't give you as much science. So, yeah, you get more science the further you go out into like space and all that. So, now that we've completed our first successful launch, let's go ahead and hover your mouse up here above this, and this thing should come down. If you're on the ground and you're not moving, recover vessel. And now we should be able to get some money back, I think, from the parts recovered, get some science from our experiments, all that good stuff. We made a lot of money, right? 60,000. Whew. Alright, so let's go back to mission control and see what other new missions it's given us. Okay. Not very good ones, actually. Not the kind of ones I was hoping for. This looks like... That looks like the only one I could potentially do right now. I was hoping for some ones where you can test stuff at the launch site, you see. But I think they'll have to do. Or maybe I should just go straight to space. Yeah, I think we can do that. We can go straight to space. I could also do this while we're at it. Yeah, that won't be too hard. Why don't we just head up again? We get into space and have a look around. Observe Kerbal from afar. Yeah, let's do that. Sure you guys are eager to see what that's all about. We have to fly above 70,000 meters. That's when you hit space. So we're going to need a much more powerful rocket than what we just used. So let's go... Yeah, if you go to this little building here, Research and Development, you can spend your science points. Remember those mystery goo experiments and the crew report we took? Well, you go here, we can look at all this, and it's basically like you've seen this in any other game, really. So what are we going to spend it on? Well, we could probably just spend it on these first two. It says, how hard can aerospace engineering be? Gives us that. It gives us another science experiment, the thermometer. We can use that for more science. And some antenna, which will come in handy later. So let's research that. And... oh, okay, I've got to purchase it. And also we're going to get basic rocketry. That will give us a much more powerful rocket. But also a different type of rocket. So I'm going to research that as well. We have just enough for that. And with that, we should be done here. We cannot afford anything else. It's way too expensive for all that. So yeah, we've used up our science points, as you can see up here. We've only got 7 now. So how to get a rocket into space? Well, let's go back to the vehicle assembly building, and I've got to remember to do that. Yeah, contracts are right down here, in case you didn't know. Let's click on that, so it stays. Got to test the Mark 16 parachute. We could probably do that on our way back down, coming back to land from space. That's not too fast, and our rocket's going to slow down in the atmosphere, which I'll probably go more in depth later on. Okay, talking about that, we'll build a more powerful rocket. Let's put the thermometers on. Let's put 2 on. And let's see. Yeah, again, I'm going to explain more about the stuff later. Maybe in the next episode I might explain it. I just want to make this first episode where sort of anyone can understand what's going on and keep it simple. Oh yes, now these things, if you go to coupling on the left here, we have this thing called a decoupler, and what it does is if you have, say you put on this, what's going to happen when you fly up into space or into the air, when you press space eventually, that will detach your rocket and you'll just be left with the pod. And these can be very, very helpful, because when your rocket burns out, you don't want to be carrying that extra weight underneath it. So we won't use the flea though, that's not going to be powerful enough. Actually, yeah, I need that decoupler, thank you very much. Now, we're going to try a different type of rocket, one that actually uses fuel from these fuel tanks, and I'm going to put, let's put 6 on, just so I make sure I can actually get to space. I think 6 will be enough. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, that's enough. And let's use this new engine we got, the swivel engine. It's not a bad little engine, this. It's quite... It's one that I commonly use a lot, actually. Very good. Let's make sure we put some aerodynamic fins on. Otherwise, this thing might not be able to fly properly. Very basic fins, but they'll do the trick. And I think we're good to go. Good to go. So we're going to call this one the Zebra because it's stripy. Capable of achieving suborbital flights. There we go. I think that's good. And I think Jebediah is going to be our main man for this mission once again. Got to remember about that parachute mission as well, though. Hopefully I don't forget. And I think after I get to space and come back down safely, presumably, I quote safely because that last one was a bit scary, that launch, but once Jebediah hopefully comes back safely down to Earth, we will probably end the episode there. Have we already... No, let's save these experiments for when we get into space because we're going to get a lot more science out of it. So... one cool thing with Jebediah here, you see how it says down here is a pilot. If you go here and click SAS, what this is like a stability thing. So, to cut a long story short, it's going to keep your rocket straight. Anyway, I've been rambling a lot about that stuff on the launch pad. Let's just throttle up, press Z to throttle up to 100%, because we want to get to space fast. You know me. So let's press space and boom. I'm going to kind of steer it a little bit. You can steer with the WASD keys, and Q and E rotates your rocket, as you can see, Q and E. Now if you want to throttle down, hit control, and if you want to throttle up, shift and all that. I don't know if I should be going that fast though, but that'll do. Now once I get into the upper atmosphere we might start doing our experiments, and yeah, it's not for a wee way. We are going a bit fast, aren't we? I'm going to throttle back more. Alright, I think about here is when you hit the upper atmosphere, so let's go and observe the goo. The goo seems to be getting very cold. Yes, because space is cold. Let's log the temperature. As you can see, still got our little thermometers here. Let's log that. Collected and recorded temperature data from the environment. Yes, good science there. And I'll wait till we hit space before we do a crew report. Let's see. It's at 70, right? Let's wait till we get there. Jebediah is very, very chill with all this. I'd be freaking out. Almost there. We're well and truly going to make it to space. We're going so fast. And yep, once that music kicks in, you're in space. And there's, you know, you can pretty much go anywhere. You don't have the weight of gravity really affecting you much at all in space. No atmosphere to worry about. However, we can't really maneuver around in space at the moment. We don't have any fuel. And I mean, we just basically went straight up. So, you know, we're not going to achieve orbit just by going straight up. It's a bit more complicated than that, and you'll see why next time. But let's do some of our experiments. I think we already did the ones in the upper atmosphere. Let's observe the goo. What does it do now? It's clumped into a sphere. Okay. And let's log that. It's not very interesting messages, are they? Let's do a crew report. Seems we're very much in space. Sky seems to be mostly below us. Yes, indeed. Oh, that's beautiful. Whoa. What's happening over there? That's a weird glitch. My textures are bugging out for some reason. So if you want to speed this up, because I know you guys probably are getting sick of just looking at this rocket suspended here like this. You want to speed this up? Do your time warp, and up here you can click how much you want to speed it up by. Man, that sped it up a lot too. Let's just get back into the atmosphere. Now I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to detach this bit of the rocket here, so our pod is all that's left. So we'll hit space again, and that should break it apart. We don't need that anymore. Jebediah, I was like, whee! I really don't know what's happening with those textures though. I've never seen that before. But I don't think it's going to affect us. And, oh, coming in hot. Alright. Oh, I have to make sure I do my contract. Oh, that was good. It was good I remembered that. I almost forgot about it. This is flashing over here, and we got a lot of contracts we completed. Oh, I think our rocket hit the ground too hard. Good thing that's not us. Let's go here. Recovered our first crew. We don't really need to worry about that. Okay, you can pause and read if you really want to read all this. Not that interested. Okay, our power chute should open soon. What's that down there? Huh. Jebediah, how does it feel being the first Kerbal in space? At least in my game. Yeah, let's speed this up. You can also hit the full stop and comma keys as well to do it that way. Coming back down, and I'm going to end time warp there. Look at that! You're safe! I did not kill you, like all those other times. So, now we're back on the ground. Let's recover the vessel and reap the rewards. Got 45 sites. Not quite as much as I was hoping for, but we made it nonetheless. So we'll take a look at what we can do next time. I'm going to end it now. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and I'll see you in another one. Take care.